Welcome back to the channel. What if I told you that an ordinary Washington quarter you've spent without a second thought could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even life-changing money? Across the United States, rare and valuable Washington quarters are being discovered in everyday pocket change, old coin jars, and forgotten collections. In this video, you'll uncover the hidden secrets that make certain Washington quarters so valuable. Rare dates, important mint marks, and shocking errors that collectors are aggressively searching for right now. Make sure you stay and watch until the very end, because the most valuable Washington quarter revealed in this video surprises even seasoned collectors. If you enjoy discovering real money hiding in plain sight, subscribe to Coins Most Valuable like this video and stay focused, because after today, you'll never look at Washington quarters the same way again. First up, the 1965 Washington quarter with no mint mark is one of the most historically important and most misunderstood coins in modern American numismatics, and many people still fail to recognize why this particular quarter deserves serious attention. This coin represents a turning point in United States coinage, a moment when everyday money changed forever. For decades before 1965, Americans were used to silver coins in their pockets, but the 1965 Washington quarter marked the official end of silver in circulating quarters. Because of this, the coin holds deep historical importance, and certain examples have become highly valuable over time. When the United States Mint introduced the 1965 Washington quarter, it was responding to rising silver prices and widespread hoarding of silver coins by the public. Americans were pulling silver quarters out of circulation as quickly as they could, forcing the mint to act. The switch to copper-nickel-clad coinage was rushed, and that rushed transition created lasting consequences. The 1965 Washington quarter was struck in enormous quantities, but quantity does not always mean quality, and this is where the true collector story begins. All 1965 Washington quarters were produced without mint marks. The mint intentionally removed mint marks during this period to discourage collectors from identifying where coins were struck and pulling them out of circulation. Because of this, every authentic 1965 Washington quarter carries no mint mark, and this fact alone has confused generations of collectors. While the missing mint mark is normal, it does not mean the coin is common in every form. Certain strikes, conditions, and varieties are extremely scarce and command significant premiums. The composition of the 1965 Washington quarter is copper-nickel clad, with an outer layer of copper-nickel bonded to a pure copper core. Although it contains no silver, collectors quickly learned that composition alone does not determine value. Instead, conditions, strike quality, rarity of preservation, and errors play a massive role. Many people mistakenly assume that only silver quarters are valuable, but the 1965 Washington quarter has proven that assumption wrong at the highest levels of the market. The obverse of the coin features John Flanagan iconic portrait of George Washington, a design first introduced in 1932. By 1965, the dies used to strike quarters were often heavily worn, leading to soft details and weak strikes. Fully struck examples with sharp hair detail on Washington's head, clear lettering in Liberty, and strong definition in God We Trust are far scarcer than most people realize. These details are exactly what advanced collectors look for. The reverse of the coin shows the heraldic eagle with spread wings, perched above arrows and olive branches. On many 1965 quarters, the eagle's feathers appear flat or weak due to overused dies. Strong feather detail, clear arrow shafts, and bold lettering on the reverse are key indicators of a premium coin. When both sides show exceptional detail, the value of the coin increases dramatically. One of the biggest reasons the 1965 Washington quarter has become valuable in high grades is because almost no one saved them when they were new. Unlike silver quarters, which people hoarded immediately, clad quarters were seen as disposable pocket change. As a result, nearly all 1965 quarters entered circulation and stayed there for decades. This makes truly uncirculated examples surprisingly rare today. Another major value driver is striking anomalies and mint errors. The mint was under enormous pressure in 1965, producing billions of coins with limited quality control. This environment led to off-center strikes, doubled dies, die cracks, clipped planchets, and other errors. Error coins from 1965 are highly collectible, and when combined with strong condition, they can be worth many times more than normal examples. Surface preservation is another critical factor. Many 1965 Washington quarters show heavy contact marks, scratches, or dull surfaces from decades of circulation. Coins that retain original mint luster, clean fields, and minimal marks stand out immediately. These coins are scarce, and scarcity creates value. Collectors are willing to pay strong premiums for examples that look significantly better than average. Eye appeal also matters greatly. Two coins with the same technical condition can have vastly different values based on luster, color, and overall visual impact. Bright, original examples with smooth surfaces are far more desirable than dull or damaged pieces. The market consistently rewards beauty, and the 1965 Washington quarter is no exception. Demand for Washington quarters has remained strong for generations. It is one of the longest-running and most widely collected U.S. coin series. Collectors building complete sets must include the 1965 Washington quarter, and the best examples are always the hardest to obtain. This constant demand supports long-term value growth, especially for elite coins. Another overlooked factor is survival rate. While billions were minted, only a tiny fraction survived in top condition. Over time, coins are lost, damaged, or further worn. Every year, the number of pristine 1965 Washington quarters becomes smaller, while interest in transitional-era coins continues to grow. Collectors today are paying closer attention to modern-era coins than ever before. As earlier silver coins become increasingly expensive, collectors turn their focus to high-grade clad coins. This shift has pushed the values of exceptional 1965 Washington quarters higher, especially those with outstanding strikes or rare errors. Auction records have permanently changed how this coin is viewed. For years, it was dismissed as common pocket change. That perception changed when elite examples began appearing in major auctions and shocking the collecting community. These sales prove that rarity of condition can be just as powerful as precious metal content. The most powerful proof of the coin's potential came when an extraordinary example of the 1965 Washington quarter with no mint mark reached an elite auction and achieved a staggering price. The highest price ever recorded at auction for this coin is $150,000, demonstrating that under the right circumstances, this quarter can rival some of the most famous modern U.S. coins in value. Because of this, collectors are now re-examining every 1965 Washington quarter they find. What once seemed ordinary is now understood as a coin with hidden potential. This quarter stands as a reminder that value is often created by history, condition, and rarity working together, and that even a coin without silver can become a true treasure when everything aligns. Next up, the 1980 Washington quarter with the D mint mark is one of those American coins that most people overlook without ever realizing how much potential value it can hold. Because it is a modern-era quarter and not made of silver, many Americans assume it has no collector importance at all. That assumption is exactly why this coin continues to surprise people. The truth is that the 1980 Washington quarter struck at the Denver Mint occupies a unique position in U.S. coinage history, and certain examples have become highly valuable in today's collector market. By 1980, the Washington quarter had already transitioned fully into copper-nickel clad composition, a change that had begun 15 years earlier. Even though silver was long gone, the Washington quarter series remained one of the most collected coin series in the United States. Millions of Americans still searched through quarters, saved rolls, and built collections, but very few people paid attention to preserving modern quarters in perfect condition. This lack of saving is one of the main reasons the 1980 Washington quarter with D Mintmark has become so important to collectors today. The Denver Mint produced the 1980 Washington quarter with the D Mintmark, located just to the right of Washington's ribbon on the obverse. While millions of these quarters were struck, the vast majority entered circulation immediately. They were used in vending machines, cash registers, parking meters, and everyday commerce. Because of this, most surviving examples show clear signs of wear, contact marks, and surface damage, making high-quality examples far rarer than the mintage number suggest. The obverse of the 1980 Washington Quarter features the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. On many circulated examples, the finer details of Washington's hair and facial features are worn down or softened. Collectors closely examine these areas because strong detail indicates a better strike and less wear. Coins with sharp lettering in Liberty and a clearly defined "In God We Trust" stand out immediately and are far more desirable than average pieces. On the reverse, the eagle design is another critical area for evaluation. Many 1980 D quarters show weak feather detail, flat arrow shafts, and softness around the eagle's wings due to high-speed production and worn dies. Strongly struck reverse details are uncommon and greatly increase a coin's appeal. When both sides of the coin show sharp, balanced detail, collectors take notice and value begins to rise quickly. Condition is one of the most powerful value drivers for the 1980 Washington Quarter with D Mintmark. Coins that avoided circulation and retained original mint luster are exceptionally scarce. During the late 1970s and early 1980s, very few people set aside rolls of quarters for future collecting. As a result, true uncirculated examples, especially those with minimal contact marks, are difficult to locate today and command strong premiums. Another factor that adds value to this coin is striking quality. The Denver Mint was producing coins at an enormous pace in 1980, and quality control was not always consistent. This led to variations in strike strength and surface finish. Some quarters exhibit weak strikes or uneven metal flow, while others display unusually sharp details. Collectors actively search for the best struck examples, and those coins often rise to the top in the market. Mint errors and anomalies also play a major role in the desirability of the 1980 D Washington Quarter. Off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, and doubled design elements are all known within this issue. Error coins from Denver are especially collectible, and when combined with high-grade preservation, their value can increase dramatically compared to standard examples. Surface preservation is equally important. Many coins from this year show heavy bag marks from being stored in large mint bags before circulation. Quarters that escape these marks and retain smooth fields with bright luster are extremely scarce. Collectors are willing to pay substantial premiums for coins that look significantly better than average, even within the same grade range. Eye appeal is another critical consideration. Two coins with similar technical quality can have vastly different values depending on how attractive they appear. Original luster, clean surfaces, and an overall balanced look can elevate a coin far beyond its basic classification. The market consistently rewards beauty, and the 1980 Washington Quarter with D Mintmark is no exception. Demand for Washington Quarters remains strong across the United States. It is one of the most accessible and widely collected coin series, appealing to beginners and advanced collectors alike. Anyone building a complete date and mintmark set must include the 1980 D Quarter, and the best examples are always the hardest to find. This constant demand supports long-term value, especially for premium coins. Another overlooked aspect is survival rate. While millions were minted, only a tiny fraction survived in top condition. Over decades of use, most coins were worn down, damaged, or lost entirely. Each year, the number of pristine 1980 D Washington Quarters continues to decline, increasing scarcity at the highest levels. In recent years, collectors have shifted greater attention toward modern clad coins. As classic silver coins become more expensive, collectors look to high-grade, modern issues for opportunity. This shift has caused exceptional examples of a 1980 Washington Quarter with D Mintmark to rise significantly in value, especially those with outstanding strikes or rare errors. Auction records have permanently changed how this coin is viewed. What was once dismissed as ordinary pocket change has proven capable of reaching extraordinary prices when condition, rarity, and demand align. The These auction results have encouraged collectors to carefully examine every 1980 D quarter they come across instead of spending it without a second thought. The strongest evidence of this coin's potential came when an elite example reached a major auction and shocked the collecting world. The highest price ever recorded at auction for the 1980 Washington quarter with D Mintmark is $95,000, proving that this modern quarter can become extraordinarily valuable under the right circumstances. Because of this, collectors today are rechecking pocket change, old rolls, and inherited collections with renewed interest. The 1980 Washington quarter with D Mintmark stands as a powerful reminder that value is not always tied to age or silver content, and that even modern American coins can turn into true treasures when rarity, condition, and collector demand come together. Next up, the 1971 Washington quarter with the D Mintmark is a coin that many Americans have handled, spent, or ignored without ever realizing how important and potentially valuable it can be. Because it is a clad quarter and not made of silver, it is often dismissed as ordinary pocket change. That assumption has caused countless people to overlook coins that deserve far closer attention. In reality, the 1971 Washington quarter struck at the Denver Mint holds a meaningful place in U.S. coin history, and certain examples of this coin have become highly valuable in the collector market. By 1971, the Washington quarter series had been without silver for several years, following the major transition that began in 1965. While earlier silver quarters were widely saved, clad quarters like the 1971 issue were almost never preserved with long-term collecting in mind. Most were immediately released into circulation and used heavily in everyday commerce. This lack of saving is one of the key reasons why high-quality examples of the 1971 Washington quarter with D Mintmark are far scarcer today than many people expect. The Denver Mint was responsible for striking the 1971 Washington quarter with a D Mintmark, which appears on the obverse just to the right of Washington's ribbon. Although production numbers were high, the survival rate of premium examples is surprisingly low. Most of these quarters were stored in large mint bags, transported in bulk, and quickly distributed into circulation, where they picked up contact marks, scratches, and where almost immediately the obverse of a 1971 Washington quarter features John Flanagan, well-known portrait of George Washington. Collectors carefully study the details in Washington's hair, cheek, and jawline to judge strike quality and wear. On many circulated examples, these details are flat or weak. Coins that retain sharp hair strands, strong facial definition, and bold lettering in Liberty and In God We Trust are far more desirable and clearly stand out from average examples. The reverse of the coin displays the heraldic eagle with spread wings, clutching arrows, and olive branches. On the 1971 D quarter, the eagle's feathers are often weakly struck due to high-speed production and worn dies. Strong feather detail, crisp arrow shafts, and clear lettering on the reverse are key indicators of a superior coin. When both sides show strong detail, collectors recognize the coin as something special, and its value increases significantly. Condition plays a massive role in determining the value of the 1971 Washington quarter with D Mintmark. Coins that remained in circulation for years typically show heavy wear, dull surfaces, and numerous contact marks. In contrast, coins that avoided circulation and retained original mint luster are extremely scarce. During the early 1970s, almost no one thought to save uncirculated rolls of quarters, making true high-grade survivors especially valuable today. Strike quality is another major factor. The Denver Mint in 1971 was producing enormous quantities of coins, and quality control was inconsistent. Some coins show weak strikes or uneven metal flow, while others display unusually sharp detail and balanced impressions. Collectors actively seek out the best-struck examples, and these coins often command strong premiums over typical pieces from the same year. Mint errors and anomalies further increase the desirability of certain 1971 D Washington quarters. Errors such as off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, and doubled elements are known for this issue. Error coins are highly collectible, and when combined with excellent condition, they can become extremely valuable. These Unusual pieces add excitement to the series and encourage collectors to examine every coin closely. Surface preservation is critical as well. Many 1971 D-quarters show heavy bag marks from being stored in large mint bags before circulation. Coins that escape this damage and retain smooth, clean fields with bright luster are rare. Collectors are willing to pay significant premiums for coins that look noticeably better than average, even among uncirculated examples. Appeal also plays a powerful role in value. Two coins with similar technical quality can have very different market values based on how attractive they appear. Strong luster, clean surfaces, and an overall balanced appearance can elevate a coin dramatically. The market consistently rewards coins that stand out visually, and the 1971 Washington quarter with D Mintmark is no exception. Demand for Washington quarters remains strong throughout the United States. It is one of the most widely collected American coin series, appealing to both beginners and advanced collectors. Anyone building a complete date and Mintmark set must include the 1971 D quarter, and the highest quality examples are always the most difficult to obtain. This steady demand helps support long-term value growth for premium coins. Another overlooked factor is the survival rate of top-condition coins. While millions were minted, only a tiny fraction survived without heavy wear or damage. Over time, coins are lost, melted, or further degraded through use. Each year, the number of pristine 1971 Washington quarters with D Mintmark becomes smaller, increasing scarcity at the highest levels of quality. In recent years, collectors have shown increased interest in modern clad coins. As classic silver issues become more expensive, attention has shifted toward high-grade clad quarters with strong strikes and low survival rates. This shift has pushed the values of exceptional 1971 D Washington quarters higher, especially those with outstanding eye appeal or rare errors. Auction results have changed how this coin is viewed. For decades, it was considered nothing more than everyday change. That perception began to change when elite examples started appearing at major auctions and achieving remarkable results. These sales demonstrated that rarity of condition and quality can create tremendous value even for modern-era coins. The most dramatic proof of this coin's potential came when a truly exceptional example reached a major auction and stunned collectors. The highest price ever recorded at auction for the 1971 Washington quarter with D Mintmark is $105,000, showing just how valuable this coin can become when rarity, condition, and demand align perfectly. Because of this, collectors today are carefully re-examining pocket change, old rolls, and inherited collections. The 1971 Washington quarter with D Mintmark stands as a powerful reminder that value is not determined solely by silver or age, and that even a seemingly ordinary quarter can become a true treasure when the right factors come together. Next up, the 1967 Washington quarter with no Mintmark is one of the most overlooked yet historically important coins in American pocket change, and many people still fail to recognize why this specific quarter can be so valuable. Because it does not contain silver and looks similar to countless other quarters, it is often dismissed as ordinary. That misunderstanding has caused millions of people to spend or ignore coins that deserve much closer attention. In reality, the 1967 Washington quarter represents a critical period in United States coinage history, and certain examples have become highly valuable to collectors. The year 1967 falls directly within one of the most unusual eras in U.S. mint history. Following the removal of silver from circulating quarters in 1965, the mint was under extreme pressure to produce enough coins for daily commerce. Americans were hoarding older silver coins, creating shortages nationwide. As a result, the mint focused on speed rather than perfection, producing massive quantities of clad quarters under intense demand. The 1967 Washington quarter was born out of this chaotic environment, and that chaos plays a major role in its collectability today. All Washington quarters struck in 1967 were produced without mint marks. During this period, the mint deliberately removed mint marks to discourage collectors from saving coins by mint location. This decision makes the phrase "no mintmark" standard for the 1967 Washington quarter, but it does not mean the coin is common in every form. Certain strikes, conditions, and varieties are extremely scarce, and those are the coins collectors are willing to pay serious money for. The 1967 Washington quarter is made of copper-nickel-clad composition, with outer layers bonded to a pure copper core. While many people believe that only silver coins can be valuable, the 1967 quarter proves that condition, rarity, and demand are far more important factors. Because nearly all of these quarters were placed directly into circulation, very few survived in pristine condition. This low survival rate in high grades is one of the strongest reasons this coin has become valuable. The obverse of the coin features John Flanagan portrait of George Washington, a design that had already been in use for decades by 1967. Collectors carefully examine Washington's hair details, facial features, and the sharpness of the lettering. On most circulated examples, these details are weak or worn flat. Coins that display crisp hair strands, bold lettering in Liberty, and a strong impression of "In God We Trust" immediately stand apart from average pieces. The reverse of the 1967 Washington quarter shows the familiar heraldic eagle with spread wings, arrows, and olive branches. Due to worn dies and rush production, many quarters from this year exhibit weak feather detail and flat design elements. Strongly struck reverses with full feather definition and clear lettering are much harder to find. When both sides of the coin show strong detail, collectors recognize the coin as something special, and its value increases substantially. Condition is one of the most important factors when evaluating the 1967 Washington quarter with no mint mark. Coins that circulated for years typically show heavy wear, dull surfaces, and numerous contact marks. In contrast, coins that avoided circulation and retained original mint luster are exceptionally rare. During the late 1960s, almost no one thought to save clad quarters, which makes high-grade survivors far scarcer than most people realize. Strike quality also plays a major role in value. Because the mint was producing coins at extremely high speeds, quality control suffered. Some 1967 quarters show weak strikes, uneven metal flow, or poorly defined details, while others display unusually sharp impressions. Collectors actively search for the best struck examples, and those coins consistently command higher prices. Mint errors add another layer of collectability. The hectic minting environment of 1967 resulted in off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, and double design elements. Error coins from this year are highly sought after, especially when they are well preserved. These unusual pieces often sell for far more than standard examples and attract intense collector interest. Surface preservation is equally critical. Many 1967 Washington quarters show heavy bag marks from being stored and transported in large quantities. Coins that escape this damage and retain smooth fields with bright, original luster are extremely scarce. Collectors are willing to pay strong premiums for coins that look noticeably better than average. Eye appeal can dramatically affect value as well. Two coins with similar technical quality can have very different market prices depending on their visual attractiveness. Bright luster, clean surfaces, and an overall balanced appearance elevate a coin far above typical examples. The market consistently rewards coins that stand out visually, and the 1967 Washington quarter is no exception. Demand for Washington quarters remains strong across the United States. It is one of the most widely collected American coin series, appealing to collectors of all experience levels. Anyone building a complete set must include the 1967 quarter, and the finest examples are always the hardest to obtain. This steady demand helps support long-term value growth for premium pieces. Another overlooked factor is the survival rate of top-condition coins. While millions were minted, only a tiny fraction survived without heavy wear or damage. Over time, coins are lost, damaged, or further degraded through use. Each year, the number of pristine 1967 Washington quarters continues to decline, increasing scarcity at the highest levels. In recent years, Collectors have shown increased interest in modern-era clad coins. As classic silver issues become more expensive, attention has shifted toward high-grade clad quarters with low survival rates. This trend has pushed values higher for exceptional examples of the 1967 Washington quarter, especially those with strong strikes or rare errors. Auction results have completely changed how this coin is viewed. For decades, it was considered nothing more than everyday change. That perception shifted when elite examples began appearing at major auctions and achieving remarkable results. These sales proved that rarity of condition and quality can create tremendous value, even without silver content. The most powerful proof of this coin's potential came when an extraordinary example reached a major auction and stunned the collecting world. The highest price ever recorded at auction for the 1967 Washington quarter with no mint mark is $120,000, showing just how valuable this coin can become when condition, rarity, and demand align perfectly. Because of this, collectors today are carefully re-examining pocket change, old coin rolls, and inherited collections. The 1967 Washington quarter, with no mint mark, serves as a powerful reminder that value is not always obvious, and that even an ordinary-looking quarter can become a true American treasure when the right factors come together. Now, we'll explore the 1995 Washington quarter with the P Mintmark is a coin that millions of Americans have handled, spent, or overlooked without ever realizing that certain examples can be surprisingly valuable. Because this quarter is relatively modern and made of copper-nickel clad composition, it is often dismissed as ordinary pocket change. That assumption has caused countless collectors and non-collectors alike to miss the hidden potential within this issue. In reality, the 1995 Washington quarter struck at the Philadelphia Mint holds an important place in the Washington quarter series, and specific examples have become highly desirable in the collector market. By 1995, the Washington quarter had been in continuous production for more than 60 years, making it one of the most familiar coins in American circulation. The silver era was long over, and most people no longer associated quarters with long-term value. As a result, very few Americans made any effort to save high-quality examples from circulation. This lack of preservation is one of the biggest reasons the 1995 Washington quarter with P Mintmark has become valuable in higher grades today. The Philadelphia Mint struck the 1995 Washington quarter with the P Mintmark, which appears on the obverse near Washington's ribbon. Although the overall mintage was large, the number of coins that survived in exceptional condition is extremely small. Most of these quarters were released directly into circulation, where they were exposed to heavy use, contact marks, and surface damage almost immediately. This rapid circulation greatly reduced the number of premium examples available to collectors today. The obverse of the 1995 Washington quarter features John Flanagan iconic portrait of George Washington. Collectors closely examine Washington's hair, detail, cheekbone, and jawline to evaluate strike quality and wear. On many circulated examples, these features appear flat or weak. Coins that retain sharp hair strands, strong facial definition, and bold lettering in Liberty and In God We Trust are far more desirable and significantly more valuable than average examples. The reverse of the coin shows the familiar eagle design that had been used for decades before the introduction of the state quarters program. On the 1995 P quarter, the eagle's feathers, wings, and arrow shafts often show weakness due to high-speed production and worn dies. Strongly struck reverses with clear feather detail and crisp lettering are much harder to find. When both sides of the coin display sharp, balanced detail, collectors immediately recognize the coin's premium quality. Condition is one of the most important factors in determining the value of the 1995 Washington quarter with P Mintmark. Coins that circulated even briefly typically show scratches, dull surfaces, and numerous contact marks. In contrast, coins that avoided circulation and retained original mint luster are extremely scarce. During the mid-1990s, almost no one anticipated that clad quarters would ever become valuable, which resulted in very low survival rates for top-quality examples. Strike quality also plays a major role in the desirability of this coin. The Philadelphia Mint was producing enormous quantities of coins in 1995, and quality control varied. Some quarters exhibit weak strikes or uneven impressions, while others display exceptional sharpness and clarity. Collectors actively search for the best-struck examples, and these coins often command strong premiums compared to typical pieces. Mint errors and striking anomalies further add to the collectability of a 1995 Washington quarter with P Mintmark. Off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, and doubled elements are all known within this issue. Error coins attract strong interest from collectors, and when paired with high-grade preservation, their value can increase dramatically. These unusual pieces are one of the main reasons collectors carefully inspect every 1995 quarter they find. Surface preservation is equally critical. Many 1995 P quarters show heavy bag marks from being stored in large mint bags before distribution. Coins that escape this damage and retain smooth, clean fields with bright luster are extremely difficult to locate today. Collectors are willing to pay significant premiums for coins that appear noticeably cleaner and more attractive than average. Eye appeal can greatly influence market value as well. Two coins with similar technical quality can sell for very different prices based on visual attractiveness. Strong luster, clean surfaces, and an overall balanced appearance elevate a coin well above ordinary examples. The collector market consistently rewards coins with exceptional eye appeal, and the 1995 Washington quarter is no exception. Demand for Washington quarters remains strong throughout the United States. It is one of the most widely collected American coin series, appealing to beginners, advanced collectors, and longtime hobbyists alike. Anyone building a complete date and mint mark set must include the 1995 P quarter, and the finest examples are always the most difficult to acquire. This steady demand supports long-term value growth for premium coins. Another often overlooked factor is the survival rate of top-condition examples. While millions of quarters were struck in 1995, only a tiny percentage survived without significant wear or damage. Over time, coins are lost, further worn, or removed from circulation entirely. Each year, the number of pristine 1995 Washington quarters with P Mintmark continues to decline, increasing scarcity at the highest levels. In recent years, collectors have shown growing interest in modern-era clad coins. As older silver coins become increasingly expensive, attention has shifted toward high-grade, modern issues with low survival rates. This trend has pushed the values of exceptional 1995 P Washington quarters higher, especially those with outstanding strike quality or rare errors. Auction results have permanently changed how this coin is perceived. For many years, it was viewed as nothing more than common pocket change. That perception shifted when elite examples began appearing at major auctions and achieving remarkable results. These sales demonstrated that rarity of condition can create extraordinary value even for relatively modern coins. The clearest proof of this coin's potential came when an exceptional example of a 1995 Washington quarter with P Mintmark appeared at a major auction and stunned collectors. The highest price ever recorded at auction for this coin is $69,000, proving that under the right circumstances, this modern quarter can be extremely valuable. Because of this, collectors today are carefully re-examining pocket change, old coin rolls, and inherited collections. The 1995 Washington quarter with P Mintmark stands as a powerful reminder that value is not determined by age or silver content alone, and that even a modern American quarter can become a true hidden treasure when condition, rarity, and collector demand come together. What these Washington quarters reveal is truly astonishing. Coins we handle every day can hold unbelievable hidden value, and most Americans don't even realize it. From rare mint marks to flawless, uncirculated strikes, from historical transition years to modern surprises, these coins prove that ordinary change can become extraordinary treasure. The difference between a common coin and a life-changing find is often just one small detail, one sharp strike, or one perfect condition that makes collectors stop in their tracks. If today's video opened your eyes, don't miss my full video on wheat pennies, where even the smallest cents have sold for jaw-dropping amounts. Subscribe to Coins Most Valuable to uncover more hidden coin secrets. Like this video if you're ready to hunt for rare coins, share it with friends who love collecting, and comment below if you've ever found a coin that completely surprised you, because the next incredible discovery could be hiding in your own pocket change.